See you all. Thank you so much for joining. Welcome to our Messages from Heaven, supposed to be live call-in show. So we are really excited because one, we're going to dive into what I think is a really great topic. Let me get this out of the way. And can you hear okay? Can you hear?
Yeah, I can hear great.
Okay, great. We're going to talk about what 40 years of marriage really teaches you about commitment. And we're going to share a little bit about, from our perspective and our life of, ebbing and flowing through family, through
Ups and downs.
ups and downs. And why now, like why all this is, God had placed it in my heart to come back, start, doing these readings with everyone again and to share, sorry, I'm just going to mute you, Angela, and to share Brian with you, to share my husband, who is highly intuitive. He's really connected, and he's a great person. He really is. Hi, Heather.
Hi.
Look at Heather's on. Great. It's in the moon. You're right. The tech stuff, it's probably completely the moon's fault. We'll blame it on that. Not really sure. I'll try it one more time at, when we're ready to take calls. So I kind of want to interview you, Brian. I want to ask you a little bit about what commitment means to you.
Commitment
Yeah.
to me is, first of all, my commitment when we got married, my commitment was to God. That what I was agreeing to was to God, you, and then my family. But my first commitment was to God. And I would never go against that commitment. I would always strive to make whatever was happening in our lives work by putting what I promised in the beginning when I was kneeling in front of the altar with you. And that I've swore to stand by that and protect it.
So if you guys have, followed me at all, you might have heard, or you might not have heard, but we just moved through a really hard season in our marriage. And actually 2025 has really been a challenging year in my family as well. So a lot of really big life happenings. And I believe that our commitment, our individual faith, has been the thing that has carried us and held us and helped us to navigate really hard things, things that really could and have broken other people apart. Through my 20 plus year career of working with people, I've worked with couples. I've worked with a lot of women who have come in with a lot of challenges in their own relationships. And what I know for sure is when I'm moving through something, can you go unplug that really quick? Somebody's coming up the driveway, probably Amazon. When I move through something, I always see it then come through with my clients. It always see the semblance of a challenge that they're having. And it's not the same story, but it's typically the same energy. And so that's what's helped me to help others, is through my own experience and what God has placed us here. And the other thing I found is the things that we go through, the things that we experience, those big challenges and hard life lessons, those are really what you have a PhD in. Those are the things that because you're constantly moving through them in different forms. So it might not show up the same every time, but it shows up again, and then you're like, hey, wow, it's this again? Who has that? Who's been there was like, oh my gosh, this is happening again? And it might happen with a different person. It might happen with the same relationship. But if we don't heal it within us, and it's not always with the other person, it's usually they're mirroring something to us that can either trigger us and cause us to, go down our own rabbit holes, cause us to forget our own grounding, forget that relationships teach us. They teach us about who we are. They teach us about what we're able to move through, where our tolerance level is, where our love level is, where our commitment level is. What do you think about that?
100%.
Yeah.
It's...
Um,
Sorry, the dogs are throwing me off.
I know the dogs are throwing us off. We don't have the tech going. Amazon is coming. It never happens like this, but here we are. So we wanted to talk about commitment. We wanted to talk about faith and relationship with the divine. I say God, you're welcome, however you say, for your creator, and what that means individually and how that really supports us. So I wanted to ask Brian, through the season of hard, how did your faith hold you in what felt like, and I don't know if you felt like everything was crumbling. I don't know what you felt exactly.
I felt like everything was, being destroyed inside of me. I had to find myself again and go back to really praying. And I felt like I had, through the past few years, let that slide away and not counted on God as much as what I really needed to. And once I really turned back to God and started praying and talking to, all my family that had passed and asking them for help, things really started to change. And I really noticed a big difference on how I was able to understand you and start accepting my own. To be able to look at myself in someone else's eyes was the biggest thing that I learned that was able to change me to accept who I am today.
What did I mirror to you that you found in yourself?
Well, we've been married for so long. There was so much of a mirror. We were so codependent on each other.
Well, mirroring is really like the teaching moment, the thing you saw in me, or the thing that pissed you off about me that you realized was inside of you. That's really the mirroring. It's like, because it's never about the other person. It really is about how you're responding and what you have going on.
But I never really listened.
It's true with that.
I didn't listen. I overspoke. I didn't accept too much control.
Thank you for sharing that, and I really appreciate you being vulnerable. What I'm asking, though, is something that I mirrored to you, something I was either healing or something that might have triggered you, something that you saw that you were like thinking it was just about me, but then you realized it was actually something inside of you that you could work on.
Your problems with your family, with your mother, and just different things like that. I started to realize that the stuff that I had pushed under the rug throughout all the years and was really affecting me and didn't know it.
Yeah. It's really interesting how repressed emotion can come up in a relationship, and you can think it's about you. You can think that their behavior is about you, or their lack of, or their inability to do the things that you need them to do or you'd like them to do. And what I've really learned in not only in our 40-year relationship, the ebbs and flows of it, but also with working with other people, is hurt people. They tend to hurt people. That's not an excuse, but if you don't know better, you can't do better. And there's this thing about compassion and forgiveness that has always lived inside of me, where if someone has done wrong to me or around me, how can I look at that and look beyond the sting of that happening, to find compassion, to pray for them? Because in my faith, what I know is an absolute truth, is that my prayer has merit, it has volume, and it has an energy that I can't always see, and it moves mountains. So when Brian was in his hard seasons of different things, I could pray for him. I didn't have to like him. I didn't have to like his actions or the things that were going on, but my faith, my commitment required me, asked of me, can you go further with yourself? Can you deepen this? And I believe that in that it gave him permission to do the hard work he needed to do. It gave him the space to show up for himself. He had to do the work, not me. He had to go and, get to the undercurrent of what was behind the scenes, those trapped emotions, and work on that. And then, go ahead.
My hardest thing was accepting the consequences for my own actions.
Ooh, that's a good one, right?
Yeah, it was
sorry.
always. It's easy to overlook the things that you don't want to find out about yourself.
Oh yeah, that avoidance, right? I think that's something that you might see in yourself, or maybe you see in a relationship. Does anybody relate to that?
A lot of the things with me was things that I've seen with my father, that I always said that I would never be that person. Mm-hmm. And then I started realizing, wow, I really started to become that person.
You can't not become that person in some ways. You can fight it, but sometimes their behaviors are so, when you haven't healed and they haven't healed, it's like still can be alive. Yeah. So, I think I really believe Brian and I have a really special relationship because I'm a willing participant. He's a willing participant. And life looks good, for the most part. We're really fortunate. We have 4 grown children, 2 bonus daughters. We have 6 grandchildren. And it's not all love and light. It's
definitely not.
It's taken a lot of commitment to, Brian was saying this earlier when we were talking about what we were going to share tonight. It takes a consistent amount of effort, a decision to continue to do the work, even when it's hard, even when you want to slam the door, throw the frying pan.
It's a job. You put your all into your work every day, and then you come home. Like me, I would wake up in the morning and I would go to work, and I would put my all into work all day long, and then come home and not want to do anything. I gave my best to someone else instead of my family. Mm. And that's not the way the life's supposed to be.
I think what's helped me with, too, along the journey, the faith that I constantly cultivate, I'm constantly working on my relationship with God, my relationship with Jesus, is that I listen, that I'm willing to listen and let go of ego, because ego really wants to be a part of the journey and make problems and make those problems big and constantly feed the narrative of, this isn't going to work, things are really bad, or whatever it is. And the surrender, the energy it takes to surrender, sometimes I don't have it. Sometimes I really have to seek it. I have to work for it, to get there. But when I'm there, the voice is so clear for me. It's so clear. It's like, pray for him, or just walk away, Jeannie, or I'll call on his mom who crossed over, and I'll say, you need to speak to your son. I'll be like, you got to step in here. And I'll ask the ancestors for what I need. And I think I really want you to know, you can ask your ancestors, you can talk to your loved ones this way and ask them to come in to speak love into your relationships, to help you navigate some tricky things. Did you do that when you
Yeah.
had some? Yeah.
I try to talk to everybody. It's new. I mean, every single day is still new. Even after 40 years, it's new, especially after I retired.
You mean our relationship?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always, we both change. We have grown and you continue to grow. And
Yeah.
as you grow, you change and you have to adapt.
You want to share a little bit about your ability to commune with spirit, what that's like for you, like how you see, hear, feel.
I see colors. And I feel a lot of energy from people. I can walk into a room and pick out someone that's really hurting, and it's the person that I usually try to walk up to and just talk to.
But it wasn't always that way for you to be in a understanding of it, correct?
Never. I would push it away and
But you also
not want to understand it.
But you also would use it as a way to control, right? Like,
Oh yeah, I controlled everything.
I want to talk a little bit about control and your gift of like how you would use that ability to read people or read the energy to feel safe. Because I think a lot of people do that. I think it's kind of a vulnerable thing. We want to feel safe. We want to understand we're walking to a room and, like, where do I go? Is there going to be someone that's going to call me out? Or, what were you looking for when you would walk into a room? Maybe that's the first question.
Well, that's judgment. As soon as you walk into a room, I mean, everyone, I think it's human nature that we think, oh, what's everybody think of me? What do I look like? Do I look the same as everybody else? Are they looking at me funny? Did I do something wrong? And it builds up on you. And you need to reverse that, I think, and just put a positiveness into yourself.
So walking into a room and reading the energy, what did you walk away with?
When I didn't try to accept it, I walked away with feeling bad about myself. It was
Because it goes into the wounds, right?
yes.
That makes sense. So then it goes into the undercurrent, right? That energy that's behind the scenes. Because sometimes we don't even know what those emotional wounds are because they're so familiar. They've been hanging out for so long. They're part of our story.
Never feeling good enough.
Yeah. And sometimes we re-imprint the trauma, the things that happen to us by telling the stories, by, I love therapy, but talk therapy, when you've been doing it for years, it can be like a time to shift, because you telling the stories over and over is basically you re-imprinting and reaffirming those stories as if they're real. And what we really want to do is move through the emotions, move through the energy that's trapped, so that you can recode yourself with love, with how you really want to feel, because your soul's here to have great experiences and not to stay trapped in a time. And we do need therapy. We do, I believe in talk therapy to move through. But if the emotion isn't coming out and you're staying in those stories, then it's a trap. It continues the loop. So we want to break that loop. And this is what I found for, my healing journey, of the things that have worked really well to help move those emotion out. What have you found for you about what do you think has worked for you to help move the emotions out of you?
Well, I always was against therapy in every way, shape, or form. And then when I retired, like I've said to you so many times, I was always in control. I was the CEO. I went from the bulldog in the room one day to the chihuahua in the room.
Right. I think I figured out the problem as you were talking with the call-in number. I figured the tech thing out as he was saying that. The chihuahua in the room.
Okay.
It's because I have it as registered, so I'm trying to hook up the call and it won't register because it's registered. Why don't you talk and I'm going to see if I can change that setting. Or if you guys have questions, why don't you pop them into the chat really quick and I'm going to see if I can fix this. I don't think I can edit it once it's going. Nope. But that's the why I can't call in. All right, well, at least I figured it out, right? It's not going to work because I have to change the
You have
setting.
questions in there?
Yeah. Here we go. What if we doubt ourselves, especially our ability to connect with our departed loved ones? That's a really great question. And I think that most everyone here probably has a sense of doubt. And I can tell you, I used to doubt as well, like all the time. And doubt is normal. But it's leading you to a trust. It's leading you to a belief system of something that you know already inside of you. I always say the soul knows, right? The soul knows its experience. The soul knows because when you're a child, if you had visual dreams of angels or departed loved ones, you have sight. You have the ability to see spirit now. If you heard them as a child, whether it's sleeping in your dreams or you heard them when you were awake, you have the ability to hear spirit. It's really not difficult. It's just a memory. So the feeling, like Brian was saying, he can feel them as well. And it's just the remembrance that it's a natural, normal thing. So we all have that brush by. I'm sure everybody could raise their hand to say they've had some sort of experience with the supernatural, with heaven, with spirit. And
even if you know that you've had that,
yes,
and it's happened,
yep,
and you know that somebody helped you somehow, some way, you're still going to be doubtful that it's going to happen again.
well, questioning I think is normal, but it's more of the faith. It's more, I guess, going back to that trust and having faith that when you're soft, it comes in, and when God gives it to you, you're like, thank you. There's this thing about getting a compliment for people. Like when you get a compliment, it's God giving you a kiss from heaven. It's God sending you something that you needed. But a lot of times somebody will say, oh, your hair looks really great today. And you're like, oh yeah, well, I just washed it. Or you'll like kind of brush it off, but it's like really receiving it because it's coming in for you because he wanted you to have that. And it's like the same thing. It's just like believing that your loved ones are there because God is giving it to you. He's giving you hope.
A lot of times you get compliments and you don't absorb them.
Yeah.
And then you wonder, why doesn't anybody ever say anything nice to me? When people are saying nice stuff to you, but you're just not listening to it.
Because it's much easier for us to, especially because of the undercurrent. When I say undercurrent, it's like our subconscious is wired to more to the negative than it is to the positive. So we'll be more apt to go down this dark, dreary stream than to the, oh my gosh, that's so great. Because that's how the brain is wired to remember. And we just have to learn to change our brain. And epigenetics is teaching us that our brain can rewire. We can build new neural pathways with conscious effort of staying in the now, of catching those little tones that come in, any little resentment, any little anger, any storylines, and then shifting them. And it's like, is that real? Is that true? Is that alive anymore? How do I really feel? And all of a sudden, you start changing your own inner narrative. So I would say, the best thing you could do for yourself is to say, I am so lucky that spirit comes to me. I'm so lucky. It's like constantly reaffirming and just allowing. Jane wrote, how can we change when our spouse is unwilling? Hey, Brian, you want to come in here? Because Brian has not always been willing. Have you?
No.
No, I would do the work, and Brian would, happily stay on the outside. Meaning I would go to therapies, I would constantly, be showing up for retreats and meditations and come on in.
I'm thinking.
Okay.
I guess when I started seeing you really start to accept yourself and flow, and I was being kind of like left behind. I wasn't accepting, the changes that you were making in yourself. I was trying to stay in my old ways.
And I will add to that, not only did you see that, but then he would try to nix it because his control, his pain, his unhealed trauma kept him trying to feel safe. And as I healed and I came into my truth, I no longer needed to be codependent with him. I no longer needed him to be okay if I went on a retreat. I didn't need permission to be me. And so I started showing up lovingly. Like I wasn't like, the mean girl because I believe in our relationship. I was more like, hey, I'm going to go to this retreat. And I wasn't asking. Where in earlier years, I would be in the asking and waiting for a permission slip because that was my unhealed trauma. That was my little girl saying, somebody's got to parent me.
That gave me the opportunity to put doubt in it.
Right. So my side of the street on that, I have this analogy. So you have a freeway, you and your partner, your spouse, and your job is to pay attention to your highway. And there's garbage, there's potholes, there's stuff. There's a breakdown over here because, it's your highway and he's got his. But a lot of times we're crossing that barrier, we're crossing the Jersey barrier to get onto their side to fix them or micromanage them. And that's just a habit. That's a habit that doesn't serve, number one. It's a habit that hurts and reinforces, I need you to be a certain way. And once I stayed in my lane, it really started changing so much. And yes, were there bumps? Did he try to come in and try to, get me to come back? And I wouldn't. I'd be like, no, this is who I am now.
Well, throughout our whole marriage, there was never any boundaries set up for any of that.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I met Brian when I was 17. Like, we were children. We were little kids, and we had this, great romance, and we were going to get married. I'm 20. I was, 2 weeks after I turned 20, we walked down the aisle. And, marriage starts as that romance. It starts as that, gonna live our life. We're gonna have our, we're gonna do all these things, and it's great. And then reality sets in. And then and that's when the work comes in. That's when the dedication and the commitment and when your vows actually come into play. But nowhere in the vows did it say, I need to be codependent. But that was, I enabled. Like, I could own my side of the street. I could own my parts of it. I can own that I taught him that was okay. And so I needed to take responsibility to teach him how I wanted him to be. And that gave him permission, right? Do you feel like that gave you?
Yes, and I always looked at it as when I said in sickness and in health, sickness and health pertain to the marriage too.
Yeah.
Not just your physical being, but your marriage was sick with not getting along, not communicating well. Just, I had the problem of always finishing, your statements. You would try to tell me something that was bothering you, and I would try to instantly fix you without allowing you to even finish speaking.
And what was that for you? Was that so you felt safe? So you felt like you were doing something and...
It was a control thing that just grew throughout the years of codependency.
Right.
I had to control everything that was going on in our lives.
I think there's this really fine line between codependency and commitment. Because, and I really needed to work on this, and I did. Commitment means I'm holding to what God is showing me. That's what commitment is. I'm holding to what God is showing me, and I'm trusting that Brian's going to do his work. Where I'm codependent, or where I was codependent, was I'm getting on the phone calls and making things happen for him, or, I'm telling him what needs to be done. That's codependent. Transparency is a different story. Like when I'm committed, when I'm holding to our vows and I'm holding to what God shows me, I can be transparent with him. So if something happens, I can say, hey, this is what's coming up for me. And that's a totally different conversation than what we used to have. Because I just didn't want him to be upset or angry, because that was my little self. My little self didn't want to have confrontation. My old version didn't want to have confrontation or to have anybody be mad at me, because that didn't feel safe. But healing her took her out of the undercurrent. Healing that part of me made it so the voice went away.
Yeah, and I started turning it around, thinking the way that I would talk to you, you would never talk to me that way. And I started thinking, what if she talked to me that way? How would I feel?
Ooh.
And that made me feel bad. It really did, because it's not the way that I would want to be. It was like disrespectful.
Beth says, I consider myself a spiritual person, but I have a sense of, But I have a sense of there being a God, but I never pray or ask for help. I see God as a witness, and it gives all humans free will. I have wondered if people who work with you have accepted Christ as their Savior. Beth, thank you so much for that. So I think that it's an individual experience. I work with a lot of different people from a lot of different religions, and it's not required to have the same belief system as me. I believe that we all have an understanding of God within us, or we have a drive to learn more about this God, higher power. For instance, I'm really into Kabbalah lately. I'm following a rabbi. I went to see him. I brought Brian to a retreat because I love God so much. I want to be in a space where other people are filling up their being and loving God, and I'm loving all the different names for God. So yes, I believe, Jesus, I believe, he is the Messiah. That's my belief. I don't ask that of anybody else. I don't know if that answers your question. Any other questions? Come on in, ladies. I don't know if there's any gentlemen on here, but come on in. You're welcome, Beth. I hope that, I don't know if I answered your question or not. Great. Do you want to talk a little bit about forgiveness? Thank you, Beth.
Forgiveness?
Yeah. What does it mean for you?
Forgiveness to me is accepting the little things. Mm-hmm. Because if you don't accept all the little things that each one of us, we're not perfect. And if we don't accept the little things, then they become big things. And you need to learn how to forgive the little things before you can forgive big things.
Yeah. What I've been working on, I love this, Brian, because I think forgiveness is something I've always practiced. And what I noticed, though, is I've been carrying resentment. And what came up this year for me, especially in the beginning of the year with my mom falling, a lot of family things came to the surface. And as we were moving through those things, I noticed behind the scenes, even though I was like, okay, I'm gonna forgive, I'm gonna start again, I would have this little voice going on the inside and be really annoyed with my mom or, whatever behind the scenes. And I was like, ooh, I've got some resentment. And if I've got resentment, that means I'm really not forgiving. That means I'm really carrying a tone that is charging me, right? So I've been paying attention to where that tone shows up so that I can really work through and call it out. And I don't know if anybody else has that experience, but that resentment, that little undercurrent of tone can really interfere with our ability to release the person, to release ourselves from that entanglement.
It's really easy to say, I forgive you.
Yes, it is.
But you really have to mean it.
You do have to mean it, but,
Sometimes it's difficult.
It is. Angela wrote, just wanted to say your marriage sounds like my carbon copy. As little girls, we're always taught to make everyone happy. It takes a lot to make ourselves happy. Yes, I am a people pleaser for sure. I mean, I don't think it's uncommon, especially for those who are highly sensitive. And when you grow up, you want to see people be happy, especially if you're a parent, you have a parent who's not really happy with you. And you have a parent who requires a lot of energy from you, good behavior, right? It's very conditioned love. So from conditioned love comes, first people pleasing, the need to see them happy. And you don't do that because you really want to. You do it most of the time because it's a safety mechanism. It's taking care of your little self. You did it because you needed to.
Well, most people feel better when they're making someone else happy rather than themselves.
Well, that's a different energy when you are a servitude and you're serving others and you're helping them because, but you're not forgetting about yourself. But where it becomes toxic a lot of times is when there's unhealed trauma. When it's toxic, it is that little version of you that did it to
You wind up forgetting about yourself.
You do. You put others before you, and it's not that it's a bad thing. It's when it becomes toxic. When you start to go, hey, when is somebody going to be nice to me? That's when it becomes the problem. But you can't take any money out of the bank if you don't put any in. I'm not sure what you mean.
What's that?
I'm not sure what you mean, Angela.
In a relationship. Is that what she means?
I think maybe that's what she's talking about. Yeah.
It definitely takes two.
The other thing I've noticed in our relationship is, and I've seen this with other people too, it usually one person, and my friend Heather's on here and I've told her this before, one spouse will go first. One person in the relationship will go first. That means you're the lead in. You're the one that's going to do the heavy lifting, the healing, and the other person is going to follow you. And the other person's they're gonna have to come up to meet you, because you're gonna set a new level of energy, and they're gonna come meet you. And then it might be their turn, and then you've got to come meet them. And that's how healing works in a relationship. It's the ebb and flow, right? But typically 2 people don't heal at the same time. One typically goes first, and then the other one follows. That's what I have found. And when we are in the willingness, it moves a little easier. It's not so much of a whitewater rapid ride where you're like drowning, like, bailing. But, maybe it's more of a canoe ride, and you do have some bumps along the way, but you're actually okay. You actually are like, okay.
Well, 2025 has definitely been a wave. We've been riding the wave, ups and downs.
Been riding the wave. Okay. Angela said, yeah, in other words, you have to be good to yourself before you can be good to others. Yeah, having a solid foundation in loving yourself and caring for your own human, and then caring for others. And I love soft boundaries. I don't know about you guys, but like a soft boundary to me is asking myself, does that feel good to me? Does this feel right? And if I can't get an answer, if I can't, feel it, then I don't do it. And that would go for like taking a phone call, going to an event. Like, I have to feel it in my body. And when you're healing, you have a lot of past experiences. You could have like numbness. You can have like, I can't get there. I'm not really sure how I feel. And that takes a little bit of time, a little practice about working with your body and finding, okay, here's that nuance that feels really good. It's not triggered. You're not angst. You're not worried. You're more neutral.
And when you're healing, you have to give the other person
Grace.
Yeah, you can't expect them to keep up with you. It's not an easy thing.
Not an easy thing. All right, any other questions that you guys might have for us? Including any connections that you would like to hear from your loved ones in heaven? Thank you, Beth. I have been working on myself for decades. Yes, I hear you. Me too. Still have not been able to let go of my beliefs pushed upon me by my mother. My mother died in 1998, and I am still wrestling with her. I have made great progress, but still find her embedded in the foundation of who I am. I wonder how you might work on healing this to finally arrive free. I want to say I feel you on a really, really deep level. And I believe that before we came in, God wrote us in with the family, with the people that we were meant to be with. And that one person who's the biggest challenge, the hardest, most painful thing, is the thing we're meant to heal, is the thing that we're meant to find our way and return to love. So I learned this really great thing that the rabbi taught during one of the classes. And one of the women could not get over the things that were happening with her mother. And he's like, anything he said, she was just like circling back to the story. And he said, I want you to close your eyes. And anytime your mom comes up, we're going to do it right now. I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to put your hand up, and I want you to see your mom there, and I want you to start to erase her. He said, I want you to erase her because God did not intend you to carry this pain inside of you. And so by erasing her, what you're doing is it's a way of giving it over to God. It's moving her out of your energy so that you can be in your own energy. Number one. I really love that. I think that's something that you can, I don't know if you've done it, but you could work with right away. Like if a memory is coming in, if something's popping into your field, so that you can stand in who you are. And the work of standing in who you are is knowing who you are, is knowing that you are a child of Hashem. You're a child of God. You're meant to be here in your own understanding. And while your mom did come in to to give birth and to bring you into this life, releasing her gives you the ability to live fully. With your mom, there's a lot of conversation, a lot of chatty, a lot of talk. That's her way of showing up, of of over speaking you. Do you understand that? That's how she comes in to show me who she was in life. She's not that person anymore. But to honor you as a soul, she must take responsibility and she must heal for her wrongdoings. And she's like, there's a list. She's got lists. I don't know if she had lists in life, but she's showing me lists of the things that she's been working through. Lists. Do you understand the list? Then you can come and talk if you want. Unmute yourself.
Are you present with my mother right now? I,
Yes.
oh gosh, really. I have almost been frightened of actually meeting up with her again. I loved her so much as a child, but she was overshadowing me. I clung to her. Um, I don't know what I need to say to you. The thought of her being here with you is very touching me. It really is.
In a good way, I hope.
Well, in a good way. When I feel sadness, I know my heart has been touched.
Mm.
So some people think, oh, if you cry I'm sorry, they don't want you to cry. But uh, something feels very real about what you're saying.
Did your mom keep lists in life?
Oh, she had a long list of everything I was supposed to do to
Right.
be a,
She has her own list now, so it's referencing what she is doing in heaven to heal her transgressions, to heal from her the pain she imparted. And it's really like she's like this is the hardest thing that she can say is like admitting her wrongdoings isn't something she would have ever done in life.
never.
And this is how you know it's her. She's like, because I would have never, but I'm doing it. I know what I've done, and I want you to be free.
And I'd like her to be free too.
She is free. Believe me, she's in heaven doing the work. She has a freedom. And for her to come in to give you this, to offer her heart so openly, because she wasn't that way in life,
No, the
is,
opposite.
is showing you how great God is that He's healed her own wounds so that she could come and be present with you.
Hmm. Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Um, Anybody else like to come in? Come on in, Doreen.
Hi, I just wanted to see if you had any messages for me.
Sure. Anybody in particular you'd like to hear from?
I have a lot of people over there. um,
How about if you just pick one for me?
my dad.
Beautiful. Thank you. And he left quickly, your dad? Yeah. I have a really hard time breathing. It's how he comes in like right away, but he has a really big personality as he comes in. And he's like, Of course I'd be here. She knew I'd be here. He like just wants to like almost like get to the front of the line, which there's no line, but like just he's like, tell her, like I'm right here with her. But I do know you feel him. He also has beer breath. I don't know why that's important for me to tell you, but I'm like, okay, I'll tell her. That's so awkward. Do you understand?
He never drank, so I don't know. He
What's
he
the beer
literally
breath?
never. I don't know. I don't know. He never ever drank. He like was he only he.
Maybe that's the joke. Oh, I love it though. I also feel like hand on your back holding you up. So that's kind of showing me that you're moving through something, you're navigating some challenges. So he's got a steady hand, like a steady hand with you.
I often like feel him and sorry.
Don't apologize. Yeah.
Um, and that's why I was saying, like, I have a lot of doubt within myself if it's really him, or I'm always talking to him and stuff. And
Isn't even on. I just realized that the microphone isn't even on. It's hilarious. I am
Mine
so
is.
not tech
Mine
tonight. I don't
is.
know what happened. I'm like so glad that you came on. I feel like he's showing me like you are not going to come on or you got it. Like, I don't even know. He's like, but no, he's like, I pushed her. She needed to hear from me. Yeah. He's saying that you're very brave.
I'm trying. I'm trying for sure.
You are. It's little steps at a time. Okay? Yeah. Mm.
Thank you so
You're
much.
most welcome. You're most welcome. Jackie, do you want to come in? You're talking. You just have to unmute yourself, love.
Unmute. Okay.
There you go.
Okay. Any message from my daughter?
From your daughter.
Yes.
What's her first name?
Elizabeth.
Thank you. I just get such a gentle connection, like a gentle soul as I say her name in heaven, and as she comes in, I just feel this softness all around her. There's some tender areas in your relationship that you guys had. Do you understand that? Yeah. Um, but she's like, well, she's crying. Like she's just emotional being here with you too. Like she just really, really loves you and wants you to know how much she loves you, how much that she respects everything that you've been doing in her name. And I don't know what that means.
I celebrate her life rather than mourn her life. I have been there for her children. I
Hmm.
have my granddaughter living with me now who is diagnosed with latent Lyme's disease.
Okay.
My grandson, she just graduated college, and my grandson just went into college.
The gratitude, right? The tears of joy that she sends for you, for holding up her children. And she's right with them. And it's not been easy at all for them, not at all. So you are an angel, she said. And you're getting to do some things that you really wanted to do, but you weren't able when she was younger.
Yeah. Does she have any messages for her children?
Oh, this is all for you, darling. It's all
Oh,
for you.
okay.
It's all for you. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Hmm.
And you hit the nail on the head.
Mm.
But
Yeah.
yeah, people say to me, how do I get through? A lot of prayer, a
Yeah.
lot of rosary, and I could be an alcoholic in the corner, or I could celebrate her life. I choose to celebrate her life every day. Say her name, laugh, see the cardinal outside, and like, okay, you left me with this. I need your help.
There you go. Beautiful girl. Beautiful.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Jane, I see you, girl.
Hi, beautiful.
Mm.
And thank you to your amazing husband for answering and being open
Pretty
like
great, right,
he
guys?
is.
Pretty great.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Anything from my mom for me?
I love that it's mom night. Well, not just mom night. We had dad come through too, but I feel like a lot of mom presence tonight. Jane, I feel like your voice is so bright and so on point, and what she's showing me is to stay with yourself. So I don't know if you're writing or you're speaking, but however it's moving through you and out of you is so good. She said you're channeling now. Do you understand this? Like channel means like you're hearing God, you're hearing it and it's moving through you.
A little bit. There's something. I'm not sure. I definitely need some more guidance. It's not the best time of year right now for me, and I could definitely use something. So I feel like I'm more open, but
Well, Jane,
I'm waiting. I don't know what it is.
I think the invitation to come back into the sanctuary would be amazing.
Thinking about it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. The chat. What? Yeah, so this, I feel like you could take what Jackie is doing in celebrating this time of year, as it's really challenging because it has a lot of nuances of grief. And can you turn it into, shift it from something that takes from you to something that gives to you?
That is the question.
It is, right?
That's the question. And with not a lot of support on this side. So how do you ask for support from the other side, I suppose?
Well, like I said, when I needed something that Brian wasn't able to hear me ask or receive from me, I would call on his first his grandparents, and then when his mom passed, I would call on her, and I would say, I need this to get to him. And when I really needed it, when it was really big, I would call Archangel Gabriel, because Archangel Gabriel is the deliverer of messages. I need you to speak this in the words he will understand and receive.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
My mom would come through a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
She was relentless.
She's great. She's great. Christine, you have your hand up. You want to come in?
Yes, I'd love to, Jeannie. Thank you. Well, since you said it's mom night, I thought I'd jump in.
Great. And your mom's on the other side.
She is.
Christine, we've met. You used to be in Soulshine, correct?
Yes, that's right.
Yes. Great.
Yes.
And how are
I
you
can't
doing?
believe you remember that.
How are you doing with your work?
Um, I'm having trouble going back to it. I want to, but I have some doubts. And
Yeah. So
yeah.
this is where your mom brings me. So
Okay.
fun is you are who you are, Christine. You are who
Yeah.
you are. And sometimes life feels like it's bringing you away from who you are, but it's a choice. She's like, it's you get to choose. It's like a claiming, a blessing over yourself.
I want to do this work, but I'm having doubts that I will be able to bring the information as clearly as I used to.
And why do you, I'm just curious on like what changed for you?
I just got away from it a little bit, and now I'm trying to find the courage to come back and doubting myself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah.
And God wires you a certain way, and
Yeah.
that doesn't ever go away. It is a practice, a spiritual practice. We all have the ability to have a spiritual practice and stay in attunement with the divine. And it's just returning to that, is returning to your roots. And that's what your mom shows me, is about like the return. And I don't know if you moved or something shifted, but she's like, it's a return. Return. Do you understand?
I can. Yes, I think I can understand what she's saying.
Great. Great. She keeps showing me Marianne Williamson's book called A Return to Love. She's all about the return.
Interesting.
I don't know
Yeah.
if you've read it, but
I have.
great. Take it out of your shelf and just, go through it again. Highlight what is popping out for you at this time.
Okay.
The message in there for you.
Excellent. I will look for that.
Beautiful. Well, thank you for coming on.
Thank you. Blessings to you, my love. I appreciate
You too.
Thanks.
Hi, Angela. Come on in, love.
So I would be interested in hearing from my husband if I could. The last time I talked to you, which was quite some time ago, he was telling you he really wanted me to go on a date, and I literally stood in the hallway.
You literally did what?
Stood in the hallway and bawled my eyes out and said, if you want me to go on a date, you're gonna have to send me someone I can't resist. And within weeks, I went with friends a concert, and that somewhat has happened. But it's a really confusing situation. So I didn't know if he had any advice on this.
Confusing for you or confusing?
Confusing for me because I wasn't looking. It was like all this has happened to me, and it's a weird situation. It's just far as I start seeing numbers, I start hearing things off of my television, I start, looking, why am I seeing all these numbers? And then the twin flame situation started flying around. I'd never heard of twin flames, and I was like, can't be me because I'm way older than this person, and which is I guess a significant part of that. And I'm just confused because if you know anything about that goes on and off, and then there's silence, and I'm tired, but I can't let it go as much as I try.
So here's my 2 cents. First, when you start having signs all the time, we want to land back in with prayer. We want to say, only that which is of God can come to me. There is trickster energy. There is low frequency energy. Will vie for our attention and also, come off of our emotions. Fear that will come off of our emotions and bring us down a seeking instead of a being. So number one, only that which is of God can come to me. I really love that you had something come in that got your heart going again, that got that beat and that like curiosity. And I trust your wisdom, your body's wisdom, to lead you where you need to go. And that's what your husband says. He said this is a time because you've always in the past needed someone to lead you, but you are so strong. You've always had everything you needed within you to make decisions, to move in a direction that feels really right and good for you. Do you understand this?
Yeah.
He's showing the male energy where you came as a child, and where he kind of stood in too was to overshadow you, to over.
That's what I said about your marriage.
To overspeak. And so the gift here is this is happening for me, not against you. This is happening for me to teach you to hold to what you fucking want. And not what anybody else says, or not what some random numbers are saying, or not some twin flame thing. This is what feels right and good for you. End of story. And that's he said, that's the true power.
Okay.
Yeah. And he claims all the responsibility. He's like, she knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, because he was a long hair guitar player when I met him, and that's exactly what this person is. So that's the funny part.
And your truth is, in your body already. And remember I said a little earlier about if you can't get to your yes, then there's some work to do. There's some spiritual work to do. There's learning to come in. And this is why I created the sanctuary. This is what I work with women. We work on coming into connection with the divine, moving in through our body, because it's our body that's the temple, and it's coming in, bringing that consciousness in our body, expanding. And daily, like, it's important, but it's hard for us to stay there. So that's why we meet once a week. And Jane's been in that program because
because I had a happy childhood. I can't figure out what I need to work on. I wish I could figure out what I could work on, but I don't remember having a bad past. And I mean, normal things.
Yeah. Our spiritual practice is our number one thing that we need to do every single day with
I do. I do.
Yeah.
I walk every day and say my rosary. So
beautiful. And only that which is God can come to me. And then trusting your body's wisdom, trusting what's landing in, I feel like it's going to really lead you to your next right move.
Okay. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Well, I thank you all for joining us tonight. This was so great. We will be doing another one at the end of the month. I'll be sending an email out about when that is. And
it'll be better.
It'll be better. Jeannie will have the tech figured out, hopefully. But I think this was perfect for tonight because everybody got to receive and ask questions. I hope you all enjoyed it. Everybody.
Thank you so much.
Walking away with something yummy. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right. God bless you. Have a great night.